Okay, so if you could just state your name and what you do for our interview about forensic autopsies.
My name is Joe Perry, and I am a Raleigh police officer, and I am currently serving as the Deputy Chief of Police.
Okay, so I guess my first question is, have you ever been to an autopsy? And if so, what was it like?
Yes, to answer your question, I have been to an autopsy. The reason that I was at an autopsy is because from 2002 to 2006, I served as a homicide supervisor, as a sergeant on the homicide unit for the Raleigh Police Department. And in that capacity, I did have to go to autopsies. Not what you might think, though. It's not directly inside the room when they were happening, but from behind a viewing glass, watching the autopsy as it happened. I will tell you that they are very graphic. They are sometimes, not all the time, they are a bit difficult to watch because of the graphic nature, and you have to be prepared going in. And I would say that you never get used to seeing something like that. You do get accustomed to it, but it's a very unique experience.
Have you personally, so you haven't been involved in any of the procedures involving forensic autopsies?
No, they are conducted by a pathologist or a medical examiner who is a doctor, also in some jurisdictions referred to as a coroner.
Okay, so have you ever personally been able to hypothesize what the cause of death was just by looking at a body when you were investigating them?
Well, you have to be very careful as an investigator never to make assumptions. What we used to say is separate what you know from what you think you know. But with that being said, sometimes it was rather readily apparent what had contributed to a person's death, particularly with gunshot victims and sometimes even stabbing victims. If they were stabbed and if the implement used to carry out the crime was still at the scene, for instance, a gun or a knife still inside the body of a person.
So my final question for you, and I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, but what has been the most horrific autopsy that you've ever been to?
I would say off the top of my head, anything involving, I don't want to probably pinpoint just one. Autopsies involving children were particularly difficult. One in particular does not really come to mind, but anything involving children is especially difficult to watch because of the fact that I'm a parent and because anything involving children have a significant impact on you as a police officer.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have for you, so thank you for letting me interview you.
You're certainly welcome.
All right.